Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? The
Uh,
developer console one, right?
developer
Yes.
console. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, guys. So now our next topic is map. Very interesting thing, right? So, what is map? What do you think? What it can be?
So
Combination of set.
mix of like string and
Basically,
integer plus
Combination of what?
Key value
list
pair.
string,
and set.
string and integer.
Yeah, yeah. So till now, what we have studied, list and set. We have studied two collections, right?
Yep.
List and set,
Yes, sir.
right? So map is
Set.
nothing just a combination of list and set.
Yep.
We are
Yes,
learning
sir.
it in a different way. So map is nothing just a combination of list and set.
Yes.
So, and you can also say map is nothing just a combination of key and value,
Yep.
right? So earlier what we were learning in list or set, we were just passing one data type, right? But here we have two things. One is key
Yep.
and second one is value. Map is nothing just a combination of key and value. Or you can say map is nothing just a combination of
Set.
set and list. So what is set and what is list? Key is your set and value is your list, right? So you can say the key is a type of set and value is a type of list. So all the rules those are applied on set will be on key, will be applied on key, and all the rules of list will be applied on value.
Value.
Okay, so let's just discuss it in a more easy way. So I'm giving you an example. Okay, so let's say you have 50 students in a class, right?
Hmm.
Okay, just listen it carefully. So you have 50 students in a class, right? And some of the students has a common name. So let's say I have three students with the name of Randeep Singh, right guys? Is it
Yeah.
clear till now?
Yep.
I
Yes.
have three students with the name of Randeep Singh. I have five students with same name called Lavish, right?
Okay.
And like that. Okay. Then if your class teacher will take attendance, then what she will do? If she will ask Randeep Singh, then all three will say yes, present, whatever, right?
Hmm.
Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you will use list, then if you will call a particular value, but that is duplicate. So let's say if I would say we have a string list of string, right? And name is student, right?
Okay.
And here I don't know the index and all these things, right? Because data is in bulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know about any kind of index or anything, right? So I have four values, let's say. One is, I'm just typing the values like this only. So let's say Randeep on index number one as well. I have again Randeep. Index number three as well. I have again Randeep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then what will you do, right? If you will call Randeep, right? Then the list will return all the three values. How will you identify which Randeep you are calling, right? So
Using the
for,
index.
sorry.
Nothing, sir.
Okay, so this kind of problem, right? So you need a map. So generally, what your class teacher do, right? So they generally define a roll number before the
Yes.
student name, right?
Yes.
Like roll number 10 Randeep, roll number 11 Randeep, roll number 12 Randeep. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
So in that case, only the specific person who is having the that correct roll number will say present, right? Right,
Yes.
guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So in the same way, right? So we have map, right? So what we will do, right? We in map, we have two things. One is key and one is value, right? So key is a unique thing, right? Key is a unique set of values, or every value is represented by one key. Okay, guys, every value is represented by one key. So let's say I have key as integer, right? And value I have as string. Okay, guys, I've just
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
defined the data type of these two. Now I am just storing this value again equals to new map. Syntax is same. So you can simply pass integer, and then you can pass string, right? And here, so in order to add value in a map, we have a method called put, right? So that we will study, right? That is not an issue. Student dot put, and you can simply pass, let's say, roll number. So you need to pass the roll number. So first of all, you will pass roll number 10 comma, you will pass Randeep, right, guys? And
Yeah.
then again you will follow the same step. So you will do like this: roll number 11, roll number 12. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
okay. So
Yeah.
here you can see, if I need this Randeep, then what I will say, I need a Randeep in which the key is 11. So every value is represented by a key in a map. Clear, guys?
Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear for everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every value, so key is a unique. You can't pass like this, right? So key is a unique because key has all the rules. Those are applied on set. A value can be duplicate, but the combination of key and value should be unique. Okay, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just uh, learn more methods, right? And then let's do some practical.
Pratik, the combination should be unique or only the key should be unique?
Again, man, if your key will be unique, then the combination will also be unique, right?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's the key
Key
same,
should
but
be
the
unique.
key basically key should be unique,
Yeah,
right?
right. But again, it is a common sense, right? So if
No,
your key
actually,
will be unique, the combination will always be unique.
Also,
no, I was interpreting the other way. Like if key is again 10, but the username is kind of like say Randeep, and we can add some
Yeah.
letters
In
after
that
that.
case, yeah, of course. Actually, it is, as I said, like the key has all the rules. Those are applied on set, and value has all the rules. Those are applied
If
on
I don't list,
list. Okay,
right? Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Let's just discuss the methods we have in map. Okay, let's just start one by one. Okay, let's just open debug. Okay, removing this one. Okay, let's just declare a map. I'm just typing the same that we were discussing earlier. Integer string var map and equals to new map. You can pass any data type. Even you can pass a object here. Even you can pass a list as well. Okay, as a data type.
Okay.
That we will discuss in more practicals. Okay, guys. So we have declared a map, right? In this map, what we need to do here is we need to pass some values. So in order to add a value, we have a method called put. Guys, just make a rule on this one, right? Map is a very important thing in Salesforce programming. If you don't know map, you won't be able to do programming. That is for sure. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to learn this. collection is a very important part of Salesforce programming. You have to learn this. Okay. Okay. Then var map dot put, and then in the same way you can pass values. So first one should be integer. So let's say I have 10, and now I'm passing a name called, let's say, Pratik, and just passing this, right? And let's just copy and paste it. Okay. Now I'm just taking other name, Randeep, Kalpesh, Himanshi, right? Mayank. Okay. Okay, guys. But now I'm just leaving key as same. I'm not changing the key. Or let's just do it for 11, 12, 13, and 14. Just leaving it same for these two values. Okay. Let's just do system.debug and see what we'll get. Var map. What do you think?
You should store 10 Kalpesh, 13 him.
Anyone else?
It will put 10 Kalpesh, 13 Himanshi, and 14 Mayank.
14
And
Mayank.
It would be
Kalpesh, Himanshi,
Pratik,
and Mayank.
Pratik, Himanshi, and Mayank.
Anyone else?
There's an error.
Only Pratik.
Yeah.
Pratik.
Pratik,
Who
Himanshi,
said
and
error?
Mayank.
Who said error?
10, 10, 10. Yes.
That gives an error.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's more
Akshita, you are
than
right. It's an error. You can't have duplicate value in because right now it is not only set, it is a combination of list and set. So it will throw an error. See? No, it is not. Amazing.
No. It's gonna
So
take
it will
It should throw an error.
10
Kalpesh.
Kalpesh,
No.
13
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay,
Sorry, my bad.
Mayank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So it is basically applying all the rules, right? So as set, it is removing all the duplicate values. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
But you can see here, it is taking Kalpesh, the third value,
Third value.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is not guarantee which one it will take. Okay. So let's just go for
Override.
another method.
It's working on override method now.
Override.
Override. Yeah.
Pratik override by
because
Randeep. Randeep
first
override
two-
by Kalpesh.
Yeah. First two will be override by like Pratik, then Randeep.
Okay. The another method is clear. Clear has the same meaning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to learn this. Do you want me to show you?
I think
Let's
that's
just
fine.
discuss it. Yeah, let's just discuss it. Var map,
Var map
dot
clear.
clear. So let's just change it 11, 12. Now you will have all the values. So var map dot clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it will clear all the key will repair. See. Okay.
Yes.
And another method is we have is clone, that is same. So let's just declare a map again. Integer, comma string, var map 2 equals to new map.
It should be map,
User,
not map.
string, var map 2 equals to Okay, guys.
Yes.
So it is having all the values. Okay.
Yes.
Now, very important method, contains key.
Okay.
This is very important method. We have contains key, right? So let's just discuss it.
सर इसमें एक चीज पूछनी थी।
Yep.
तो इसमें सीधा ऑप्टिमाइजेशन के लिए ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते मैप इंटीजर स्ट्रिंग var map 2 इक्वल्स टू जिसमें भी क्लोन करना है var map डॉट क्लोन।
समझा नहीं तुम्हारा
मैं
क्वेश्चन।
कह रहा हूँ कि मैप इंटीजर कॉमा स्ट्रिंग var map 2 जो ऊपर एक रो में आपने लिखा हुआ है।
बिल्कुल कर सकते हो, कर सकते हो।
ठीक है, यही चीज।
Contains key, right? So contains key is basically will check what?
Like
What do you think?
If
it
the
will
if the given key
the-
is in the map or not.
Right.
Boolean
So
value.
what it will return?
Boolean value.
the Boolean
Integer.
Boolean
True
value.
or false Boolean value.
true or false.
Okay. Okay. Let's just check. Let's just store it in a Boolean variable. Guys, it is a very important method.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, someone is asking for you to give the link to join this meeting on WhatsApp group.
Okay, just let me send it. Sent it. Okay. So let's just check it. Debug only. False. Why it is false?
Exactly.
Because we haven't cloned it yet. So we are just checking in var map 2.
Map 2
We have removed the clone method. Let's just check it in var map, and it should return true.
True.
See, true, right?
Yeah.
So basically, contains key will tell you like if that particular key is exist in the map or not. It is a very important method actually, right? So just note it down. It is a very important method. Like you need it on an everyday basis. You will use it every day in your triggers or any other class or any other, right? Now we have next one is equals. So equals is same, right?
Yes.
Equals is same. Just to compare two maps. Okay. Clear, guys? Now there is one more important method, that is get key. Like contains key, we have one more method called get key.
will return the value.
What it will return?
So we get
Value
a
of the
value and it
particular
gives
key.
Return the value respective to the key.
Yes,
Pass.
sir. So we pass the value and get the key.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. So it will return the value attached with that key, right? Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to get the value of a particular key, you will use get.
Get.
Okay. And here what type of thing you need? String. The variable
String
should be
type.
string, right? Let's just check it. See,
Yeah.
what is stored on 13,
Hibashi.
right? Himanshi, right? So that is coming here. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Get method is used to get the value based on key. Another method is empty. You know why? What is the use case of this? Right, guys?
To check whether the collection is empty or not.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Do you want me to show?
No,
No.
sir.
Okay, cool. And the next one is key set. Guys, it is also very important, right? So what is the next method? Key set.
Get the value.
Key set. Where map? Key set. Key set. What will it return?
It
Value.
will return the key and value
The
both.
group of
Value.
keys.
Okay. Group of
Set
keys.
of keys.
Set of keys. Correct. So just tell me, guys, will it work? The line will work. The complete line that we have written till now will work or not? Or what are the changes we need to do here just to print it?
We need to create a new set.
Absolutely correct, Lavnish. So it is a key set, right? So it will return all the values that we have in set. So it will, so key set will return the complete value and what type of key we are using? Integer. So we need a set of integer, right? So we need a set of integer. Is it fine now?
Yes.
Lavnish? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think, sir, we need to create a object.
No, for just value storage, we don't need that.
Okay. Okay.
You can see 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So all the key, the set of keys now here. Right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clear hai? So these are the keys,
Sir.
right? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have we have put all, right? Like add, we have add all in list and set. So in same way we have put all.
Oh.
Okay. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the next one is remove key. Remove key. So what do you think? What it will do?
So value from that key will be removed.
You have to remove the value from a
The
particular
key.
specific key.
Remove the
that
key.
we will
Which
provide.
we are
Only value or key value pair
Key.
both,
Key
Key
value.
value
Both.
will
only
right?
both.
It will remove the key value pair, right?
Yes.
So let's remove 12, right? Okay, and just print this var map again. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
See, 12 is not here now. It is removed. Okay. Clear, guys?
Yes.
The same
Okay.
way we add the things, so then it will resemble the whole set, not the name. Since that you have actually earlier you have make a set of 10, 11, 12, only the key set. If
Yeah.
similarly we want to only add up the strings,
No,
like
you have
values
to
only, not the key.
you have to add both key and value. Without a key,
that
you can't
can't-
insert the value because value is represented by key only.
Okay.
That is why remove is asking a key parameter, not a value parameter. Because value parameter can be duplicate, right?
Mm, yeah, but suppose if the key is here right now, it's the key. So key is just like in an ID, if I can say. So if I do not want to, like, if I just want to add or replace that ID with some other name or string,
So
can I
you can
just
change the value based on the key. So
okay, okay.
if you need only value, then why you need map? You can simply store it in a list, right? And if you only need key, then you can store it in a set. But if you need both, right, in a combination, right, then only you need a map.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have next method called values, right? So like key set, we have another method called values.
Values.
Collect all the values
Right.
In list.
in list collection.
We have a method called
Values.
values. Okay.
Return
So
list
let's just
collection.
store it in a list of
String.
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 okay. So what it will return,
Values.
List of values.
List of
right? List of values.
Yes.
Just print it. See,
Yeah, got that.
okay.
Yeah.
And another method is we have is size. Size will also give you the size of the map,
Collection.
right?
Map collection.
Size of the collection. How many values you have? How many key pairs, key value pair you have, right? So let's just check it. What should be the size?
5.
Right? Whatever.
There
Sorry.
is no value in where to.
No, actually, yeah, we were using where.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear, guys? Clear, everyone? So these are the methods we have in map. So we are done with the list, sat, map, guys. Just do practice, right? On list, sat, map, I will check and will give you some scenarios to practice. We'll check, okay? And let's just do some more work now. So now we'll write a class. So how we can write a class from a developer console? You can simply go to file, hit new, and Apex class. So you have multiple options here: Apex class, trigger, pace, component, static resource, lightning application, lightning component, lightning interface, lightning event, lightning tokens, right? So these are the options we have in new. So first we will discuss Apex class, right? So let's just click on Apex class. Then it will ask you the name of the class that you want to write. So let's say I'm just naming it as practice 1. Okay. As soon as you hit OK, it will create the complete body of the class. You can see here. So the name, the first one is the access specifier, class keyword, and the name of the class. And these curly braces, like the scope of the class. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Guys, one ground rule, right? Just listen, everyone. Every Apex class generally runs in a system context by default.
Okay.
Every Apex class runs in a simple system context. So what is system context here? Anyone? What is system context here?
The org in which we are working.
Text page.
Apex space. Okay. Anyone? Himanshi, I will ask you.
Org, sir.
Okay. So there are two things, right? The user context and system context.
Basically, it won't look for our permissions and security
Absolutely, Lakshay. Very good. So what will happen is, so let's say if I will query some account data here in Apex class, and that particular account data is not visible based on your sharing settings for that particular user who is running this Apex class. But those particular restrictions will not be applied here in Apex class by default. Okay, so everyone, the user will be able to access the complete data that we have in the table. Clear, guys?
Yes.
So sharing settings will not be applied directly by default. There is a way to apply those things, but by default, it runs in a system context.
That's why we use without sharing also.
Yeah, with sharing, without sharing keyword. We will discuss them later on, right? For now, just think that if you will use this syntax, then it means it will run in a system context. Okay?
Yeah.
Clear, guys? Now, let's say what is method? Till now we have discussed a lot of data types, variables, and all these things, right? So, yeah.
Sir, the system context part is not clear to me.
System context part is not clear to you. Okay. See, So let's say we have a study about the data restrictions in sharing settings, right? Is that clear to you?
Yes.
Are you aware about data sharing in admin part?
No, sir.
Sonali, then call me after the class, okay?
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
at
Pratik,
around
can
7.
you, yeah, Pratik, can you just explain it again? Actually, my internet, there was a lag in my net.
Okay, so I was just saying that Apex class generally runs in a system context, right?
Okay.
So what is system context? System context, we have two type of context of runtime environment: the user context and system context. User context, it means the all the restrictions those are applied uh, on user, like data restrictions, profile, all these restrictions, those
Okay.
will be applied in Apex class if it will run in a user context. But if it will run in a system context, it means there will be no restriction applied here in Apex class.
Okay.
The user will be able to access all the data that is in the table.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, so what else? Let's just create a simple scenario here. So I am asking, just give me, just we are just creating a method, right? So we are just uh, doing a sum of two values, right? So what we should write here? Anyone? What is the syntax of to write a method?
Function, then
Function and then
method.
Define a variable.
So specify return type, method
Yes.
name, and then
So first
parameters.
you need access specifier, then we
Yep.
need a return type.
Return type.
We are not
What?
discussing static or anything else here, but we are just discussing a normal syntax of a method, right? So now
Right.
what is a return type, guys? Anyone?
What
the type of
What
value
Value you want, integer
the type
or
of value which we want to like string
Guys,
integer.
simple, those who are not from IT background. So if you are doing any calculation, so after the calculation, there should be some remainder, right?
yeah.
Yep.
So that remainder, what type of remainder your calculation will return? So you have to define in a return type. So let's say if you are doing calculation on numbers, so of course the return type will also be a number,
Yeah.
right? And if you are doing some calculation on string, so like you are concatenating a string, you are doing some performing some substring operations or something like that, right? So in that case, your return type will be string again. Or sometimes it can be void, like there is no return type. You are doing some calculation and you are not returning any value. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Everyone? Randeep, is it clear to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, clear to everyone. I'm hoping, right? So I'm returning an integer here, okay? And then the method name, it can be anything. So I'm just typing sum, and these are the braces. So what we will do here in between the braces,
Parameters.
Passing the
and
arguments.
the parameter
we pass arguments, right? Parameters. So we need, let's say we need to do the sum of two values. Then what kind of parameters we need to pass? We need to pass parameters as a data type and a variable form.
Yeah.
Ah.
Int A, comma, int B.
Integer a
Guys,
comma
if
integer.
somebody is not understanding the concept, like if somebody is new in programming, please ask questions, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Then let's say if I will do integer, because if we are doing sum of two values, then it should be an integer, right? Integer a comma, variable name can be anything, a, b, c, d, whatever, right? Right, guys? And then we need to define the scope of this method. So here we have the scope of this class, and now we have the scope of the method. So this method is starting from here and closing here. Is that fine to everyone?
Yes.
Cool. And what we need, so if you want to return any value from a method, if you want to return any value from a method, then there is a keyword called return.
Return.
Right? The return statement should be here. And what you need to return? A plus B.
Some a plus b.
Anyone have any question till now? And then you can just hit Control S, or you can just go to File and Save. So as soon as you will save this class, right? As soon as you will save this class, you can find this class into quick find box and just type Apex class here. Apex classes. See?
Yeah.
Okay. Practice 1. So you can simply open it here as well. You can see the version as well. So we have different Salesforce version. The current version is 49. We'll discuss this. And class body is here. Class summary. We haven't added any class summary here. Okay. Class body is here. Okay, guys. So now, let's say if I want to execute this sum method, then what I will do?
You have to create an object.
To call this method.
Call to method.
So in order to call this method, we need to create an object of this class, right?
Yes.
So what's the way to call this?
Practice 1.
You can type any name here. Equals to new practice 1, and then you can simply call it like obj dot method name.
Method sum.
Can I call it like this?
obj.sum.
Yes.
Will it work?
No,
sir.
Yeah.
No,
We'll ask
because
for
we haven't
values.
defined
System.
any
We have to put the values for A and B.
Okay. So what type of value? Like this?
Integer value.
Integer values.
No, we need to give the integer value.
Yes.
Integer value we need to pass, right?
Yes.
4,5. Will it
Even
work now?
in place, the index initialization can also happen. A equals 4, B equals 5.
That is already, we have assigned the variables here. So we just need to pass the value here.
Okay.
Okay, guys, will it work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, execute it and it will work. See, 9 is coming here as the result. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can see here, like if we are creating an object of the class, we are just providing it to the memory, right? And then we are just accessing it based on the variable though that is pointing to that memory, new memory. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Guys, in this object thing, what is this?
Constructor.
Right? So now everyone is saying constructor, right? What is in constructor?
Some method which is same as that of class.
Okay.
It is used for first time initialization of a value.
Okay. So guys, like in order to initialize the class members, right, we need a constructor. Constructor is a kind of method with same name as class name. It doesn't have any return type and you can't perform any DML operation in constructor. Is that clear to everyone?
Okay.
So let's just create a constructor. So you can say like we are not having any constructor here. We are not having any method that is as the same name with the class name, right? Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then what is happening? So by default, if you are not writing any constructor in your class, then by default you will get a constructor directly from
Object.
the compiler.
Yeah, compiler.
Right? So at runtime you will get a constructor and that constructor will be like this only. It will be a non-parameterized constructor. Simple non-parameterized blank constructor like this. So in order to create an object of the class, a constructor is compulsory. So without a constructor, you cannot create an object of the class. But one more thing, guys. So if you will write a constructor in a class, then your default constructor will not be allocated for your class by the compiler. Okay. So the default constructor will only be allocated if there is no constructor in the class. Okay.
Yes.
if I'm writing this constructor now, then default constructor will not be allocated. How will you test it? लक्ष्य बताओ कैसे टेस्ट करोगे आप इसे?
What sir? कि default constructor है कि नहीं?
So if like currently, if I will write this class like this, okay? I am saving it. It is saved now, okay?
Okay.
And if I will this will
Hello.
let's
We
just call
lost
it.
your audio.
Okay, voice clear नहीं है. So you can do one thing. Constructor के अंदर you can type system.debug and it will print.
Right,
Because
9.
automatically it will be
So
called.
there is one way, but what is the guarantee, right? If we are calling this constructor, then there is no default constructor will be allocated by the compiler. We can say this constructor is called, right, by just putting debug statement, right? But how will you make sure that there is no other constructor we are having? What will you do?
You return some value.
Okay, so guys, what is this? Can you just read the syntax once again? Can you just read the syntax once again?
Public practice one.
Public practice one.
Come again.
Public practice one.
Public practice one. Again, public practice one. So if I will make it
Private.
then what will happen?
It will.
Sir, its scope is within the class only.
Then this constructor cannot be called outside of the class, right?
Yeah.
Right, everyone?
Yes.
Maybe constructor cannot be private.
Constructor can be private. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? So it is clear now. This constructor cannot be called after the outside of the class. Sorry. Okay. Okay, guys. But if I will try to create an object of this class, then this particular constructor will be called like, right, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
See, read the error.
Method is not visible. Void replacement.
Right? There is
So
a
we have
init method in that. See, practice one dot init. Initialization is compulsory, right? Okay, guys. So it means that it is only calling the constructor that you have in the class.
Okay.
If it was allocating another constructor outside of the class, then there should not be any error. Am I right, guys?
Suppose, sir, in the scope, if we write like, you know, in the private, we write a method for the private one, then it will work.
You will write what?
Like in private, practice this. When we using this private practice one, so in that particular scope, if we write something for like, you know, to make this constructor visible, will it work for it?
That is a design pattern called singleton.
Okay.
So that is based on the property. So we can discuss that. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else have any question, or we should proceed? So now
Digbai, what's the use of it if we cannot initialize the class with this
बेसिकली हम
private
प्राइवेट
constructor?
कर नहीं सकते ना. बेसिक पर्पस तो यही है कि हम कंस्ट्रक्टर
nahin, guys, just read one pattern called singleton pattern. So sometimes you need to create a single object of the class at a time. So if you are making a constructor private, like you don't want to create an object of this class, like we have abstract classes, how will you stop to create an object of the class? This is the only way. Either you will make that class abstract, or you have simply you can create a private constructor in that class, and that this particular class will be blocked. Now there is a pattern called singleton. Singleton design pattern. Read this pattern after the class. So in this patterns, what happens? You can simply create a private constructor, right? And that particular constructor will be called by another property.
Digbai, one question. Okay, so if we make the constructor private of this particular class, is it possible to instantiate this class? I mean, it's not possible.
Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible.
It is possible?
Right.
Okay.
Based on the singleton pattern. You can see here, they have created an object of this class, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, the constructor is private for this class, right? Now, they need to return the instance based on some property. You can see here, we have a get property. So what they did is they have created a simple single object static instance, right? The private. So because this particular class can be accessible inside of the class, right? Right, guys? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, you're right.
This class can be accessed within the class itself. So what they
It
did is
can.
they have created an instance of the class, simple object of the class, inside it only. And now they have returned with it a public property.
Okay, okay, okay.
Now you can access the property and you can use it.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay. We'll discuss it in later on. Okay. Then when we will discuss the design patterns, we'll discuss it.
So,
Okay.
so by default, we are using like only the public one can, like the private are like, are they used in normal
No, it is not normal, right? It is not normal. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
What are the possibilities we have in programming? It is not related to a Salesforce only. It will work exactly same in other programming as well.
Yeah, in Java we have singleton and these all things.
Okay.
Okay.
And we have one more constructor type is called parameterized. So you can also pass some parameters here. So let's say I have one variable here, public integer my name, right? And now I want this to be, sorry, public string my name. Okay. So now I'm just passing a parameter here, string name. Okay. And what I'm doing here is this dot my name, or you can simply write my name as well, as you don't have to write this. This you can write if you are inheriting any other class, right? So my name equals to name. Okay. Now I'm just making this public. Okay, just hitting save. Okay, it is saved. So will it work like this? Now we have made it public. So can we print this like this? Can we print the sum like this?
No, we have to pass a value.
Pass the value.
Where?
And parameter.
The practice one. Parameter.
In the practice one constructor.
Because
we need
now
to pass the
constructor
value.
is a parameterized
Parameterized
constructor, right?
constructor.
And we will not get any default constructor here.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have to pass the name here. Okay?
Yeah.
It will work now, and let's just print that value. What we need to print? Obj dot
my name.
My name.
My name.
Okay. Let's just try it. Okay, clear guys? So what we were doing here in the constructor itself, so my name will get value at the time of creation of this object.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right guys?
Yes.
Clear everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we have constructors like this, parameterized and non-parameterized constructor. Okay?
Yes.
Clear everyone? Okay.
Yes.
Now we have some OOPS concept. The first one is encapsulation. So what is encapsulation?
Class is an example of
Binding of
encapsulation.
methods and
Wrapping of
variables
data
together.
under one name.
Right. So Someone said like class is a perfect example of encapsulation, right? So it is just encapsulating the related things into a single
One
thing,
capsule.
right? Okay, that is called encapsulation. And the next one is polymorphism. So what is polymorphism, guys?
Ability of the
Name
class to
multiple
be processed
functions.
in more than one name.
Absolutely, right? Clear, guys? So polymorphisms have two type. The one is method overloading, and the second one is method overriding.
Yes.
So you can write it if you want. The first one is method overloading, and the second one is method overriding. Guys, who will tell what is an object-oriented programming?
Real life, real based programming.
Guys, simply, if you want to you reuse something, reusability, right? So based on a live example, right?
Real life example.
And it is based on the concept called objects. It can contain data, form of fields, any other thing, right? That is called object-oriented programming. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have another concept called method overloading. So method overloading is nothing, just a concept of having
Same method.
multiple methods with the same name. It is a concept of having multiple methods with the same name.
Different parameters.
But different arguments.
Right.
Different.
Okay. So like we have a method called sum here, and if we want to have a method again with the same parameter, with the same name, like if I will pass here, then will it save? Just try it. It won't. See, what is the error here? Method already defined. Clear, guys?
Yes.
So you can't have the method with the same name, multiple method with the same name, but by using a concept called method overloading, you can have multiple method with same name. But the only thing is you need to change the parameter. So always remember the parameter should be different. So let's say if in this method, right, I am just doing sum of 3 values. It can make sense, right?
Yes.
Because there is no use of having the same method with same body, same parameter, right?
Okay.
So you can have similar method with different parameters. You can have as many method you want, right? But the parameter should be different. This concept is called method overloading. Let's just hit save and see if it is saving now. Saved, right? So
Yes.
is it clear now for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Similar way, like we are having multiple method with the same name, we can have multiple constructors as well. Let's say if I am writing this public practice 1, and if I am asking a parameter here, then you can't create an object of this class without passing the value of this parameter. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
But sometimes you just want to give a liberty to the user that if he wants, then he can give the parameter, or if he don't want, then he can skip that as well. So in that case, what you will do, you can just create one more constructor. This is called constructor overloading, right? You can simply create one more constructor without a parameter. Just hit save.
Okay.
It is saved now. Okay, guys. So now you can create object of this class with parameter, without parameter as well. So let's just do it. Method doesn't exist on incorrect signature void sum because we have removed the method. Let's just comment it out. Yes, it worked, right? The object is created. Now if I will remove the parameter, then also it will work. Right, guys? So you can create many constructors as well by just differentiating based on the parameter. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone have any question till now?
No.
Okay. This is called method overloading. Okay, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have another concept called method overriding. What it is? Someone tell me.
It is used to achieve runtime polymorphism.
Before going for method overriding, let's just discuss the concept of inheritance. Guys, I don't know what is in the Java, but here, right, in Salesforce, you can't simply inherit the class. The class should be either abstract type or a virtual type.
Okay.
Okay, then only it can be inherited. So what is an inheritance first? Who will tell?
The child class will inherit the parent class, so then it will be having the same functions and variable as the parent class.
Absolutely correct. Right? So let's say we have two classes, right? Let me just write another class. Now we have two classes. One class, this one. And in this class, I have a method called public void my method. Yeah, you can say class first. And here I'm just printing system.debug. This is in parent. And now, if I want the same method in another class as well, if somebody is also writing some code in your company and you want the same method, exact same method in somewhere else as well, so you should not do duplicate programming. Programming means you should not write the code that is already written. Okay, so in that case, what you will do, you will inherit this class. So if it was not Apex, if it was like a .NET or some other class, then you can simply inherit that. How? There is a method called extends. Extends, and you can simply pass the class name that you want to inherit. Okay?
Yes.
This is the syntax. Like if it is Java, let's just save it. See, what's the error? Non-virtual and non-abstract type cannot be extended. I mean inherited. Okay? So what is this abstract or virtual type? What is this? Right? Let's just discuss it. So if this class, if I will make this class as abstract, right? Now this class is abstract. Just save it. Now you can see there is no error, right? But let me just show you. Now you can simply create an object of practice2 and access the method of practice1.
Yes.
We are just creating the object of practice2. In practice2 we don't have any method, right guys?
Yes.
No.
Now we can simply type obj dot, what is the method in the practice1? Class first. Execute. This is inheritance. So you are now calling the method of practice 1 by practice 2. So if you are using this keyword extend, it means that you are extending all the feature of practice 1 into practice 2. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Everyone is clear or not?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, cool then. See, now what is this abstract?
And the declaration of method is necessary.
So let's say if I want to create an object of practice 1, then what will happen?
I think it will throw errors.
Why?
It will not create because
Abstract
you
class
cannot
can't
create an
be
object of
initialized.
abstract
Amount of parent-
Absolutely, absolutely, right?
can't be
See,
initialized.
abstract class cannot be constructed, cannot be initialized. Can you tell me the reason?
For data heading means we don't want to show any backend implementation, the code.
Kind of. See, guys. So in abstract class, we can have a method without a body as well, right? So this method is having a body,
Yeah.
right? But let's say if I will write again a new method, public void new method, right? And let's say if I will do this, will it save or not?
Yes.
Let's just hit save. Sorry.
Body.
Right? Can you see, guys? It means that this particular method is under construction, right? It is not properly constructed. In the same way, like if you are writing abstract keyword, right, before the class, the meaning is same, right? That this particular class can have some method, those are not constructed. So if you will create an object of this class, then those method will not be able to called. Am I right? So
Yes.
you need to inherit it just to make sure that you will access these methods, and you have to give the body of these methods. Now, if you will call this practice 2 class directly, it won't run. If I will call this practice 2 class directly, it won't run. Right? See, because you have to give the body of the method of practice 1 class in which we don't have the body, the new method, right? So now this particular new method is not having the body. Am I right, guys? This method, we don't know what it will do. We only have the name and the return type of this method. Am I right or not? It is not properly constructed, right?
Yes.
Adhura method hai. We have to give the body of this method, right? So if I will directly create an object of this class, then what this particular method will return? Nothing.
Yeah.
Guys, simple question, yaar. This
Because,
particular method is exists in this class.
Yeah.
Forget this practice 2 class. Just remember this class only. So what we have in this class? This method.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only thing that is different is abstract keyword. Just forget it as well for now, right? So we don't have anything any body of this method right now.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's say if you will create, if compiler will allow you to create an object of practice 1, if there is no restriction to create an object of this practice 1, then if you will call that new method, then what it will do?
It will return basically nothing.
Nothing, because it doesn't have any body, right? Then
Yes.
there is no sense to create it, right? So they have restricted, like if you are writing abstract keyword, then it means then it can have a multiple method without body, right? I will tell you the reason to create this method without body as well. Okay, so right now if you are using an abstract keyword on the class, then the compiler will not allow you to create an object of the class. It can only be inherited. Abstract class can only be inherited. Okay, guys? Abstract class can only be inherited because every class that will inherit the abstract class has to create a body of the unimplemented method, all the abstract method. This is called method overriding. Let's just do it.
Pratik bhai, one quick question. Is constructor in abstract class private or not? Is
In
it
abstract
private?
class, by
Yes.
default, we don't know, right? But it can be private. Logically, it should be private.
It should be private because every class is a
Yes,
constructor. So it should be private
it
for
should
this.
be
Okay.
private. But you can't say it because you can't check it in the compiler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how they are stopping it. Okay. So
Okay.
you can't give a confirmation.
All right.
Okay. Now let's just give the method of the body of this method. So what you will do? You can simply write another method here. So in place of abstract, what you will write here?
Override.
Right? There is a keyword called override. Now it is just showing that you are just overriding a new method. Right? Now you can type system.debug from child. Just save it. Okay, guys. Clear? Now you can create an object because you have defined all the methods. Now it will run, right? Just see. Clear, guys? Anyone have any question? You can also call the second method as well in the same way. Obj.new method. What was the name? Okay, clear, guys? Any question till now? Okay, now there is one more thing called virtual. So let's say instead of abstract, I will make it virtual. So in virtual case, you can't write a non-abstract method. Sorry, you can't write abstract method in virtual class. Okay, you can only write normal methods. So what is the use case of virtual?
Pratik, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can we change the access specifier of the method while overriding the method?
You can change, but then it won't be executed, right?
Okay. Because access
You can try it.
specifier is different.
You can try it, but there is no sense to change it. I don't know. Let's say if I will do it private.
Because
We
it's that,
cannot, we cannot create as a private.
There is no sense, right? I don't know, like if it will work, because for global you have to base class should also be global.
नहीं सर हम override public करें तो public ही mention
Right.
I think we cannot reduce the visibility.
Yeah.
Just try global
Yes.
once. It is working or not.
Global, we need to create the class as a global
Class
as
is
well.
global, but with this method,
Same thing I'm telling you. There is no sense to do it, right?
okay.
I don't know if it global will also work because the originally it was
But it's
public,
working.
but
It's
now
working,
you
I
are.
think. It's working now.
No, it is not.
No.
See the error.
Method was
Declared as abstract method should has the same thing.
All right. All right.
Okay.
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 Okay. Now let's just learn virtual. What is virtual, guys? So virtual means that as I said, virtual class can also be inherited. So here in virtual class, if I will add a virtual keyword here, if I will add a virtual keyword here, then it doesn't mean that this method cannot be called, right? I was just adding. So let's say I just want something. So if this particular method is called by this class, then it should print print that this is parent, right? And if this method will be called by the child class, then it should print this is from the child. Then what will you do? Did you understand the requirement, guys?
No.
No.
Virtual class can be inherited. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Right? So I want, like, if I will create, let me just show you. If I will create an object of practice 1, right? And if I will call this method class 1, then what it will print? You can create an object of virtual class first of all, okay? Because it can't have abstract methods.
Okay.
Okay, just execute it. It will execute. So what we did is, so we are just printing it, right? This is parent. This is in parent, right? So this is a complete class, right? We are just adding a virtual keyword. So if we are adding a virtual keyword, then it is allowing us a benefit that you can also override the body of this class into a child class. Let's just see. So now if you can create public override, see, if I will not override this method here, and if I will call it directly from practice 2, then what will happen? What will happen, guys?
Same output.
Anyone else? Same output, right?
Yes.
See, but if you want a different output, then what you will do? You can override a virtual method as well. And now this is in
Child.
Did you understand the benefit of virtual now?
Yes.
So if I will execute it now, from practice 2, if I will execute, then it will print this is in child. And if I will execute it from practice 1,
In parent.
see what it is printing? This is in child, right? But if I will execute it from practice 1, then what it will print?
Parent.
Right? So you can also change the body by just overriding a virtual method. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, same method we are calling, but we have just overridden it. So what is the concept of this overriding, right? What is the concept of creating an abstract method, guys? So I'm just giving an example. Just try to understand it, okay? It is very important, based on architectural perspective. So let's say I have something called, let me just create it. So I have a class here. Class, let's say ABC. In this class, I have, and this class is an abstract type, right? I'm not writing any public or anything, right? So you can just assume it. Okay, and here I have a method called public abstract product. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
And this is like string p name, product name. Okay, clear, guys, till now? And let's say you are writing this project to a company who is selling multiple products.
Okay.
Like let's say that company is selling shoes, that company is selling clothes, that company is selling bags, that particular company is selling a lot of products. Okay, then, and every product has its own interface, entity, everything. right?
Hmm.
Every
Okay.
product has its own customization. So like if somebody will choose, let's say, so there is a drop down in the website, and if somebody wants, like in Amazon, like if you are just typing clothes, then it will only show the interface related to clothes. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Right? If you will type grocery, then it will go to grocery section and it will only show the things related to groceries, right? Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is called as a global customization, right? A design pattern like factory, and there are more design pattern who is following this. So now this particular class, now we have declared a product, right? So now we can have multiple classes, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. So now the declaration is product. So if class 1 will inherit this class and implement the product, and then the class 1 can return like shoes, right? And class 2 will return t-shirts. Class 3 will return, implement this class, and will return the body as an something else like groceries or something else like electronics, right? So now you should understand, like, the global implementation is same, right? That is product only, but you are implementing this class in a different thing. Like if you will implement in this, then it will implement the method like shoes. You can do it, right? So you can simply write this method like public I will write void or something. Let's say return type is a string here. Let's say you have a return type called string here. Okay, just assume it is a string. Okay,
Okay.
so I am writing it like override and string, and you can say product. Method is same that we are calling, and here we are just passing string product name as shoes, right? And we are just returning p name, or you can say, let's just type it here, string name of product or whatever. And here you can simply write name is equals to shoes, or whatever you want to do as a programming. It should be in a single quote, so just assume it. Okay, and you can simply return name. And here if you will implement in this class, then you can return something else. So that a single declaration can be implemented in multiple ways. So now if somebody will select shoes from the drop down, then you can simply call this particular class just to show the interface. And if somebody is selecting something else, like let's say clothes, then you can call the class that is showing clothes. And same way groceries, electronics, something like that. So I hope you got some idea, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I want yes, no from everyone. If you don't understand, I will explain it in more way.
Yeah, understood.
Write the normal method instead of abstract, or only abstract method?
Sorry?
Can you override the normal methods also that are like not abstract?
So you, let's say if something will be static or something that is not necessary to be changed, so you can have normal methods and you can simply call them in every class.
Yeah, they can be also overridden, right?
Normal method cannot. Only abstract method can be overridden.
Okay.
Only virtual or abstract method can be overridden.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any question till now, guys? So this is the concept of method overloading, method overriding, virtual abstracts. Now we have one thing left called interfaces. Okay, we'll discuss that in next class. Just cover it and then we'll go with our trigger. So next Saturday we'll cover interface and we'll also start our triggers. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Any question till now?
Okay, Pratik bhai,
So
one
the
thing.
same method you have. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, please go on.
So the same method that you have shown for the abstract, does it applicable for virtual as well?
Same method. Virtual method should have a body.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Virtual method should have a body.
Okay.
Like this. Abstract method means that you don't have the body of that method.
Yeah, and we can refer that as an parent. Okay.
Right. You can simply write, you can